symptoms that I first had when I realized that there was something wrong with me was very much fatigue, not really any pain involved at that time. I had lost quite a bit of weight, and just realized that something needed to be done, that something wasn't quite right, and I went to the doctor. And the first time they just said, you might have irritable bowel, take Pepto-Bismol, type things. And okay, I wasn't too worried after that. But then there was starting to be pain. I, in fact, was doubled over once because I was complete blockage of my colon. And then they did something and found out, they did the baromanima and found out that I had a tumor the size of what they said was a grapefruit. And that was pretty shocking in itself without them telling me that it was cancer. It leaves you feeling pretty unsure of what's going to happen with your future. And then when they came back with the results that this is definitely cancer and this is something that you're going to have to deal with, and there was only, what they gave me was the chemotherapy and the radiation, and that was it. And of course I worked in the medical field, so I fully trusted everything that they had to offer, and first tried the radiation, and didn't really work that well. And at that point in time, I'd met a friend that had an acquaintance that had different ways of treating different illnesses, and I was very leery to try something that wasn't the norm, because I hadn't really heard too much about any kind of alternative medicine or any other methods of dealing with cancer. But then I decided, well, it definitely won't hurt to try. And so I gave these things a try, and just basically herbs at that time were all that I was using. And I think it was 3 weeks later that the tumor had shrunk. And because they were going to actually remove it at that time, but when they went in there, they said there's no reason to remove it. And at that point, I pretty much felt like I didn't need to take this stuff anymore. And also at that time, my grandfather was killed in a car accident, and where I was living in Las Vegas at that time, and my grandparents were in Florida. And I got the news that my grandfather was killed in a car accident, and my grandmother was legally blind. So I felt like it was in my position, and to go and take care of her, because there was no reason for her to have to go into a nursing home if I can take care of her. So I decided that's what I was going to do, and 2 months, not even 2 months, probably a month only after I was there, she found out she had cancer. And it was pretty well throughout her whole body. And not too long after she found out she had cancer, it showed up again in my stomach. So here I was working full-time, taking care of my grandmother full-time, and finding out that I had the stomach cancer, and then trying chemotherapy again. And because this was a fairly young doctor that, this is new stuff and it's really going to work, and it didn't. It had spread into my lymph nodes up in my armpit. I worked in a hospital, and that's where I was getting my chemotherapy, and the first bad reaction that I had was I worked the late shift, and there was only one other girl there with me, and she just started screaming one night, and I just couldn't understand what she said, you're bleeding. And I'm like, I am? I was bleeding out of my eyes, and I had no idea. And I said, oh man, I went to the doctor and I said, this just can't be. And she said, just give it another try. You know, your body's reacting to it. You've got to try this. And so I tried one more session of chemotherapy, and the next bad reaction I had was my heart and lungs decided to stop. And I was at work again and just collapsed, and I was on my way up to the ICU, and my heart and lungs started again. They were getting ready to intubate me. And that's just the final point that I just said, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die without poison in my body. And it's just ridiculous that trying to fight the cancer is killing me. It just didn't make sense to me, and I'd had enough. It's when I decided again, well, I better try get in touch with these herbs again. So at that time I had gotten the herbs and started them again, but also this time they had some new equipment that they were trying to use that was a silver pulsar. When I finally decided that this the silver pulsar and the herbs were gonna either be the change or not in my life, I said, well, you're gonna have to take it seriously. And they gave me, I had a program that I was to go by. At first I was, you're skeptical of everything that you don't really know a lot about, and I was skeptical. And but like the first week after I started wearing it 2 hours a day, I had more energy, and that just gave me a little bit of a fuse to keep going and say, well, maybe I actually wore it more than 2 hours a day after that. I'd wear it maybe 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours at night, and major difference in my energy level. That's just the biggest thing that I can tell right now. It just, my energy was, and the people, my friends around me could even tell that you can do more, and you're not so tired all the time, and you actually want to do things more. It was almost like an antidepressant for me too, because I could tell that I wanted to do more, and I could tell that I could do more. After using the herbs and the pulsar for about a week, on my way back to California, I noticed that the lymph node tumor had been shrinking already. About four months after I had arrived to California, definitely feeling better, but wanting to make sure that everything was still in the clear, I had a colonoscopy, endoscopy, and just a complete exam, and there were no evidence of tumors and nothing in my blood at all as far as the cancer goes. So you can imagine that did a lot to boost my my everything, my outlook on life, and the reasons for doing all the things that I was doing was really coming to view, and it was a reality that things are getting better, and now I'm on my way to living a more normal life and a longer life. The silver pulsar, along with the herbs, has been the major turnaround in my life, and I still, to this day, if I feel like I'm coming down with something, I put it on without fail. I don't mess around anymore, and I still go through a regimen at least once a year where I do it 2 weeks again, and I use that hand in hand with the herbs. There's a routine with those as well, and it just a major change in my life. And when I found out that I was all clear, actually I cried for a little while, which probably is normal, but to me that was another lease on life, and a ticket for a couple more years in this world, which I kind of enjoy. Ever since then, I've been totally going uphill. Gaining the weight back, which may be a little bit too much, but we'll deal with that later. But I was enjoying the fact that I wasn't losing weight, and I was getting the energy. 2 years, no, 1 year after I arrived in California, I was happy to start working again. And most people would be discouraged, but I was really glad to start working again, because I felt like that was something that I probably wouldn't do again too. And I enjoyed what I do, and being able to go back to work was a real goal, and that was an accomplishment as well. And ever since then, I've been, I hardly even get a cold anymore. And today I am healthy. I enjoy skiing. I enjoy things that I thought I wouldn't do. One day I'm going to travel. I'm going to go to Europe. I'm going to go to Canada, and just do things that in your mind you think, well, I won't ever do. Just seeing the normal things like rain is a pleasure to me now, because it's just something that is awesome when you feel like there's no hope, and then again there's hope in your life. Just cannot explain in words how you feel when you've been given another lease on life. It's just impossible to describe almost the feeling you get.